Hello and welcome to Rathods IS Academy. Today in this session, we are going to see current affairs of 20th August 2024. So let's get started with our discussion. So here we are going to take around 8 articles in our today's class. So we are going to discuss each of them in detail. And wherever I am giving you like notes, so try to make down the notes. So that is very important. Okay. So here the first topic it is about the delivery of India's freedom is under threat. So actually this article is talking about flag code. Okay. So because of the changes in our flag code, now we are promoting silk and as well as polythene national flags. Okay, so because of this, it is affecting our freedom struggle. So this is the thing which mainly said, and this topic is important from your history. And next topic is protecting Indian capital in Bangladesh. So capital is nothing but here this word represents investment in Bangladesh. So this article is important from here, international relations from GS paper 2. And this one is the tyranny of inequality. So here this article is talking about inequality in our country, and this article is giving you the data like how much population of India is rich and how much population of India is poor, and what are the measures that we have to take. So that is from your economy point of view. And next one is about Banni grasslands of Kutch, Gujarat can be restored. So actually we know that we are going to have new wildlife sanctuary, that is lion sanctuary in this Banni grasslands of Gujarat. So here this article is talking about this Banni grassland is now facing lots of threats. So what are the reasons of these threats and what are the measures we have to take? So that is from your environment and ecology. And next one is about yaks from China, they stray into eastern Ladakh. So this article is important from international relations and as well as environment and ecology. So let us try to see one by one in detail. And guys, you have to give the answer now. I'm not going to teach anything here. Okay. So get ready. Okay, so first article is the delivery of India's freedom is under threat. So as I said, this article is giving about the details of in traditional khadi fabric. So actually, earlier we used to use only khadi, and even during our freedom struggle, so after once INC, that is Indian National Congress, was formed in 1885. So later on we had series of movements like Swadeshi movement, etc. Right? So in Swadeshi movement, we boycotted the foreign goods and we want to promote our indigenous industries and as well as indigenous goods. So one such an indigenous product at that time was khadi, right? So now what happened? So we came up with amendments to our flag code. So now because of this amendment, now we can hoist a national flag which is made up of silk or polythene or polyester, like that. So because of this, what happened? So the local industries and the significance of our traditional khadi is losing. So now tell me what will be the impact? Think and tell me. So this article is talking about, first one is flag code, and second topic it is talking about traditional khadi. Okay, now we are replacing traditional khadi with silk, polyester, etc. Now tell me. So what will be the impact? Okay, so impact will be local employment will be decreased. Next, yes, culture, because even protection and preservation of our culture is our fundamental right. It will be get affected. Next, poverty. How? Okay, traditional artisans' livelihood will be get affected. Next, traditional artisans' livelihood will be get affected. Next, come on, think. You can do it. You have that potential. Come on. Yes, very good. So people will be migrating. Next important problem will be disappearance of traditional arts. Yes or no? So if you are going to take anthropology of optional. As optional, you will be having this topic, disappearance of traditional things. Okay, that will be like 10 to 15 marker question in your anthropology. Come on, tell me. Tell me what will be the other impact. Okay, income inequality rise, economic inequality. Next. Come on, think, you can do it. Quality of? Okay, quality of flag. How exactly? Mm. 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 Okay, it is not a sudden change, gradual change. Okay, so let us see what this article is saying. So actually, khadi is one of the symbol of our country's freedom and as well as self-sufficiency. But this traditional khadi is now threatened by policies. So in this policy of government, we are promoting machine-made polyester flags. So earlier, so they are mainly made up by handmade, and cottage industries of India, they used to produce them. But now we are promoting machine-made so that the traditional crafts are disappearing in our country. So it is also one threat to our promotion of culture and as well as our preservation of our culture of our country. Okay, so that is the thing. And if you see it is saying that it is a symbolism of khadi. Khadi represents India's struggle for independence and as well as self-reliance. So its decline signifies that there is betrayal of our historical values which are rooted in our freedom movement. So in our freedom movement itself, we fought a lot against foreign goods and we promoted our indigenous goods. So it is one of the betrayal of our historical value. Okay, so the point you said, it is not about ethics, it is about historical value. And next one here, it is about government policies. So government is coming up with amendments. So here we are allowing polyester flags, which reflects that there is a shift towards corporate interest at the expense of traditional crafts. And because of this, it is undermining our national pride. Okay, and next one is even there will be impact on local industries, because now we are focusing on machine made polyester flags rather than human made or handmade local products. So because of this, it is having threat on their livelihoods, right? And now what happens, so these handloom workers, they will be doing protests, so that it will be also causing harm to the law and order. So we can't maintain proper peace and stability, and there will be no implementation of proper law and order situation in that so and so area. And this one is even one more issue called as GST imposition on these flags. So the imposition of GST on these handloom products, which exacerbates the economic challenges. So whenever they are starting implementation of this GST, means further the price of this khadi made products will be further raised in the market. So because of this, there is less demand compared to that of this polyester and as well as silk flags. And even we can understand that there is neglection of our handloom heritage. So government's disinterest in promoting these handloom traditions, so which will be reflecting the broader disregard of our cultural heritage, and as well as we can't ensure proper sustainability of our cultural heritage. And next one here is even there is market dynamics, so there is rising of global interest in sustainable products, and actually whenever our goods are going into international markets, so when they will become competitive, like whenever their price is less. But here because of imposition of this GST and because of this traditional things, what happens here is, so there is decreasing of demand for this khadi made flags in international markets. So because of this, it is totally affecting our international trade as well. Okay, and next one here is call for action. So it is an urgent need for policies to empower these artisans, and we have to reinstate, and that means we have to come back to this khadi's national flags, so that we can improve or we can focus on our national identity, and as well as we can promote our cooperative models also. So this is about this topic, clear? And say this article, protecting Indian capital in Bangladesh. So as I said, the word capital here, it is about investments. So what is happening in Bangladesh? Protest. There is no political stability. Now interim government had been formed under whom? Name? Yes, Muhammad Yunus. Okay. So whether he is favor to India or not, we don't know. So it is unclear. And what about this opposition parties? So here Zia Khalida, she released out of jail. And this Jamaat group, it is pro-Pakistani group. That means obviously it is anti-India. So if this parties, they come together and if they form government, what happens? So entirely Bangladesh will also be an anti-Indian country, right? So here, what are the choices we need to make now in our foreign policy? What are the changes? Come on, think. What can we do in our foreign policy? Online students. Okay, how we can bring stability? Yes, stability is correct, but how we can bring this stability? So online students, so please think that you are in class and you are also responding to my questions. Then you will feel like classroom environment. Yes, tell me. Come on, you can think. You have that capability. Yes, providing investments to whom? What will happen later on? Yes, bilateral relations we can increase. Next, trade relations we can increase. Okay. So do you know any trade related treaty between India and Bangladesh? We have BIT, Bilateral Investment Treaty between India and Bangladesh. But we don't know the future of that. Next. Come on, you can. Think. You have to give some work to your brain, or else until and unless you give the work, it will be in sleeping mode only. Come on. Okay, what are the policies are there? We have to implement. For every question, you'll be saying this only. Next. Mm. Okay, FTA can be implemented. Next. Sign more treaty. With whom now? If the government comes. But what about already the investment which is made in Bangladesh? What about the future of the already investment made? Okay. So actually, from which subject we will be discussing this? From international relations, GS paper 2, India, Bangladesh relations. So here you have to see areas of cooperation. So after once economy is done, next will be your IR and internal security. Okay, there you will be enjoying this classes very much. You will be seeing the history, like when we started relationship, what happened in between. So how changing of different governments change our foreign policy. So it will be very interesting. Okay, so here you have to see overall what are the areas. So which are the areas of cooperation between India and Bangladesh. And next you have to see what are the challenges we have. Okay, what are the challenges we have now and even earlier challenges, and you have to see what are the measures we can take to improve the relations with Bangladesh. Okay, that means changes in our foreign policies to Bangladesh. So these are the areas that you have to focus in this article. So if you see, this article is saying that the political upheaval in Bangladesh following the resignation of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina raises concerns for Indian companies which are operating there. Yes, Indian companies, they invested in Bangladesh, but now we don't know what is the future of those investments in Bangladesh. So here with potential changes in the government attitudes towards Indian investments, so firms, they have to explore legal frameworks for protection. Now the firms, they have to explore something for their protection, for their investment protection in Bangladesh now. So here this article is saying that the power shift in Bangladesh which creates a landscape of uncertainty. So we don't know which government will be forming, okay, and how they will make the foreign policy towards India, whether it is towards China or towards Pakistan or towards India. So we don't know. So there is a lot of uncertainty now we have. So because of this, now here Indian investors, they are focusing on how they have to save their capital in Bangladesh. Okay, so that is the thing first they said in this article. And next one here is, so they are focusing on diverse investment landscapes. So Indian investments, they are mainly made in different sectors in Bangladesh. So here this highlights that economical ties we are already having. So earlier we used to have like good relations with Bangladesh, because from past 15 years PM was Sheikh Hasina. So she had a very good relationship with India. So that Indian investors, they went and they invested in Bangladesh. And not only in single sector, in different areas, Indian investors, they are present in Bangladesh. So now here, if they want to go for diversification, so they are estimating like what are the risks, what are the profits, whether they can come back from this Bangladesh or not. If they're coming back this Bangladesh, where they have to invest. So there are a lot of economic instabilities they are there for this investors as well. And next one is, whatever the legal frameworks are there, so our domestic laws, they are providing very limited protection for this investments outside India. So this is also one problem. So if in our government, if we are having proper laws which are very strong and very strict, they can provide proper support to Indian investors who are investing in other countries. So in our India itself, whatever the domestic laws are there, they are not perfect. Okay. So because of this, now investors, they are in fear and they are searching for other alternatives regarding how they can save their investment. And next one is, already we had bilateral investment treaty by BIT between India and Bangladesh. So it is protecting our Indian investors in Bangladesh, but actually we came up with amendment to that bilateral investment treaty in 2017, that is called as joint interpretive notes. So we don't know like what is the future of this BIT now because of this amendment of 2017. So this is also one important issue. And this article is saying that we have to focus on proper management of relations between India and Bangladesh so that we can provide some protection to the investment of India in Bangladesh. That is the thing, so that we can mitigate the risk. Clear? And next, see this article, the irony of inequality. So what is inequality? What is inequality? Inequality. Come on, inequality. Okay, tell me in which fields we can see inequality. Everywhere? Tell me some examples where exactly. Economic inequality, food inequality, education inequality. Next, online students. Come on, only three? You said everywhere, no? Okay, job inequality, gender inequality. What happened? Why your energy level is low today? Huh? Healthcare, okay, there is no proper access to healthcare. Next. Come on, think. Okay, policies between the countries from international relations. Okay, next. Trade inequality. Tell me the subjects. Okay, investment in rural areas, no investment. Okay. So this article is talking about inequality, and this article especially focusing on economic inequality. So what is this economic inequality? What is this economic inequality? Tell me. Yes, resources are not equally distributed. So what happens if resources are not equally distributed? Yes, you are saying that these resources, they are not equally distributed. Then what will be the impact? Aak is pak, pak is aak. Aak pak, kare pak. Very good. Next, tell me. So what happens if these resources are not equally distributed? What will be the problems? Yes, poverty. Next. Come on, think, you can do it. Poverty increases. Next. Only poverty. Yes, employment issues. Next. There will be communal riots. Revenue to government increase or decrease? Okay, decreasing of revenue to government. Next. Come on, what happens? Hunger increases, malnutrition, women empowerment will be decreased. Proper inclusive growth, there will be no inclusive growth. Inclusive policies, inclusive development, what not? Tell me, tell me. Yes, it will undermine economic development. So, okay, you know about the problems of not equally distributing your resources. Now, my question is, why there is no proper equally distribution of resources? Why? Yes, very good. So, if resources are limited, there will be no equal distribution. Next. Limited resources. Next, tell me. Because of corruption? Yes or no? Next. Because of corruption. Next. Online students. Come on, think and tell me. Give me your ideas in the comment box. Fast. Limited resources, corruption. Next. Okay, there is very less awareness. Next. Okay, there is no lack of governance making process. Next. No proper efficient policy implementation. Okay, so these are some important reasons why there is no proper distribution of resources. Okay, now let us see the data. So whenever you are writing that economic inequality is there, you have to write data for sure, and you have to note down the data which is coming in the newspaper. So this article is saying that the relationship between income and inequality and corruption in India from 2014 to 2022 says that top 1% of people now, they are controlling 40% of national wealth. Whatever the wealth our nation is having, so 1% of people, they are holding entire 40% of our nation's wealth. And this analysis is based on different surveys, different data, etc. So what are the reasons here is because of increased corruption, and next one is particularly where we can see this corruption is wherever there is a junction of government and business. So whenever this business, they are having nexus with this political people, there the corruption is happening. So because of increased corruption, there is increased economic inequality in our country. So here this article is saying that there is very sharp rise of wealth concentration, which indicates that there is a systemic problem in distribution of resources. As you said, there is no proper distribution of resources. And this article is saying that yes, whenever we are identifying that yes, there is inequality, and whenever we understood that there are some loopholes in our governance making system, so what is the thing that we have to do? So we have to re-evaluate what are the policies we have, and we have to address this economic disparities so that we can ensure proper distribution of resources to control this problem of economic inequality. And next one is there is increased corruption in our government. Wherever there is government business interactions are there. Okay, so this will say that yes, there is a risk of allowing wealth accumulation to go unchecked. Whenever there is political nexus with the help of the government, if they are doing corruption, means what happened? So there will be no rates, there will be no proper audits. So wealth concentration will happen with few, right? Okay, there is no proper distribution with many. So we need proper regulatory frameworks. And next one here is rent-seeking consequences. So rent-seeking behavior divert resources from productive investments, and that lead to inefficiencies in the economy, and that will lead to obviously stunted growth. So do you know about this rent-seeking behaviors? For example, lease. So for example, there are some mining sites will be there, so they will be taking on lease. On this lease, they will be giving some rent, right? So whenever there is rent seeking behaviors, wherever the government is involved means what happens? There will be exploitation, right? So because of exploitation, what happens? That will leads to already whatever the investment that we are getting here, so there will be no productive use of investments will happen. And next one here is, so there will be, whenever there is illegal action is going on, what happens? Wealth accumulation will happen, and even exploitation will happen, and further they will be not paying proper taxes and revenues to government, that will leads to stunted growth. And next one is, we can understand that there is problem in our policy, and even government is focusing on Make in India. So what is this Make in India concept? We have to produce in our country, so that we have to increase our indigenous production. So whenever our indigenous production is improving, then we can increase our exports to other countries, so that we can tap international markets, we can get foreign currency, so that we can increase our forex reserves. And whenever there is increase in demand for our Indian goods in the foreign market, obviously there will be increase in the demand for the labor here, there will be increasing of employment, everything, it is a cyclical chain, right? So here, whenever there is any scheme which is come up by the government, if there is no proper implementation of that scheme, obviously what happens? What are the objectives of bringing of that policy will be achieved? No. Okay. So because of this, the actual outcomes of economy will be not getting through, right? So that is also one proper thing. In that way also you have to think. And what is the measure here that you can do? So you can properly implement that scheme, so that in future at least we can get some benefits from that scheme. And next one is, we are having this globalization. So what is the globalization, meaning of globalization? So every country is interconnected with another country, right? So if anything which is happening in one country, it will be causing impact on another country as well, right? So because of this globalization, now if in India there is a rise of corruption and there is no proper implementation, means what happens? What will be the impact? Okay, it affects trade of our country. So what will happen in other country then? Tell me. So if the bad name of India is spreading in international market, is if that happens, if any country wants to invest in India, so will they come forward? No. That means they will be searching alternatives for India. That means huge loss for India, but there is gain for another country like China, where there are proper attracting investment environment is there, right? So here for that we need transparent regulatory practices, so that we can protect public interest. And next one is, whenever the corruption is increasing, what will be the perception of public? Will public trust the government? No, right? So there will be increasing of trust deficit between people and as well as government. So because of this, what we can do? We can increase public engagement, we can increase accountability and as well as transparency to increase public trust. And next one here is wealth and morality. So here, whenever wealth is accumulating in few hands, is it moral? No, right? It is not moral. So because of this, ethical questions will comes into picture, like who is responsible for wealth accumulation? So who will be answerable for that? Okay, so why there is no proper resource distribution between the poor? Okay, so in this way, ethical and moral questions will also come into picture if this kind of trend of economic inequality will continue in our country, right? Clear? Okay, see this article. How the Banni grasslands of Kutch, Gujarat can be restored. So where is this Banni grassland is located? In Gujarat. So you can get a question like, Banni grassland is seen recently in news. In which state of India it is located? They'll give Gujarat, Maharashtra, Rajasthan, like that. So you should be very much careful, okay? And even this Banni grasslands is in news because government wants to come up with new lion sanctuary in this area. Okay, recently we studied that also. So here tell me what are the geographical conditions need to be met to say any area as a grassland. So what should be the rainfall, what should be the temperature, tell me now. What should be the soil and which kinds of plants, vegetation or flora and fauna to be there. So whether in this grasslands the rainfall is more than 200 centimeters? No, what will be the average rainfall? Huh? 75 to 150. What should be the soil? Whether it is black cotton soil or sandy soil or alluvial soil or laterite soil, red soil, only sandy soil. Okay, tell me which kinds of vegetation like flora will be there, that means plants. Plants, which kind of plants? Only grass. Which trees? Evergreen trees? Then you should be very specific. Come on, come on. Think. Okay, tell me which kind of animals will be there in this grasslands? Huh? Deer. Okay, deer, herbivores. Apart from herbivores. Yeah, tiger, lions, uh, elephants. Elephants. Giraffes. What are the animals that you learned in your nursery? Tell all of them. Come on, online guys. Cheetah. Okay, why these top carnivores are more in this grasslands? Oh, okay, only for free space? So what? Uh-huh. I want correct reason why these top carnivores are seen in this grasslands. It is not about wet. So actually in these grasslands, grass is in abundance. So where grass is in abundance, herbivores are more. So to control this herbivore population, we need top carnivores, right? Top carnivores are this lion, cheetah, tiger, etc., which will prey on these herbivores. If there is no top carnivores here, the population of these herbivores will be get raised. So there will be ecological imbalance. So food chain, food web, and pyramids. You have to use those three concepts when you study this kind of topics from your environment. Okay, don't read blindly. So try to link up why they are present only here, why not there. So in that way only you will be getting analytical questions in your mains. So if you want to get good marks in your mains, your analytical skills should be elaborated. Okay? Okay, now let us see these articles. From which subjects we can read this, guys? Environment, from geography, next, apart from these two. Huh? Oh, okay, governance. From what? Exactly. Okay, development in? Okay, lion sanctuaries. Okay, next. Huh? I didn't get you. Okay, tourism. Okay, next. Come on, think broadly. Don't be narrow-minded. Yes, culture of people. Actually, Banni grassland. What is the meaning of Banni? Allu Arjun? Huh? Actually, Banni are group of people who live here. So based on that tribal group, the grassland got its name. So before seeing the name, you have to know at least what is the meaning. So who lives there, even that is also very important. Okay, tell me now, I want to ask you one question. So whenever we are getting this type of wildlife sanctuaries here, so how it is impacting the local people, like indigenous people, like tribes who are living in this region? What will be the impact? Think. For example, you have to think like you are staying in that region and government is planning to come up with this sanctuary there. So what will be the impact on you? Yes, very good. Movement will be restricted. Next. Okay, you are saying about human-animal conflict. Okay, to some extent. Next. Okay, you are thinking from positive side. Okay, good. Okay, it is also having positive like tourism will be getting increased so that local employment, livelihood. Okay, next. Yes, illegal poaching will be also increased. Next. Livelihoods of these people will be getting affected if the movement is restricted. Next. Yes, culture. Because in anthropology, you will be studying about this topic called as social culture, contact, like that. That means whenever people who are limited to that place means, so they will be following their own culture, their own everything, right? But if some people are coming and they are coming in contact with these people, what happened? Culture exchange will happen. So this culture, they will be exchanged with that people, their culture will be exchanged with this people. What happened? The mixing of culture. So if it has happened for generations, what happens? Ultimately, that traditional culture will be got vanished. So even in our country, there were more than some thousands of languages in our country, but they are diminishing because of social contact. Okay, so people they are preferring only the languages of dominant groups. Even we have our own language, ST language, but we are not preferring that because of culture contact. Okay, so if the people who are not talking that language means obviously that language will be got extincted, right? Okay, now let us see this article. So the Banni grasslands in Kutch of Gujarat, which have shrunk from 3,800 square kilometers to 2,600 square kilometers. That means the area of this grassland is reducing day by day. So tell me what might be the reasons that you think. What is the reason behind this? What is the reason behind this? Something is there, no? So without something, this will not happen. Okay. Is development activities, mining activities, construction encroachments, illegal buildings, developmental projects. So because of this, what happened? The area of this Banni grasslands is decreasing. So now this article is saying that we have to restore based on the study assessing about land suitability. So the land suitable for which things? So based on this land suitability, we have to go for proper restoration of this Banni grasslands. So here the research which had been identified that 36% of area is highly suitable for restoration with adequate water resources. If you are providing proper adequate resources, we can go for restoration of about 36% of this area. And the study is also saying that we have to go for studying of even soil characteristics. So based on that, we can go for sustainable management of these grasslands, and as well as we can go for proper restoration of this grasslands. Okay, now let us see the details. So here the grassland which cover very important ecosystem which will support biodiversity, and even it will offers numerous ecosystem services. So tell me what are the services provided by the grasslands? So whenever you are reading any vegetation, for example, we have semi-evergreen forest, deciduous forest, montane forest, grasslands, and you will be reading about mangroves. Wherever you are taking any ecosystem or any vegetation, you have to know what are the services provided by them. So based on that services, you can remember even which are the trees, which are the flora, which are the fauna, everything you will be grasping. So if you are getting any question from this natural vegetation, you will be doing that question for sure. Because natural vegetation is one of the repeated theme of your UPSC prelims. So every year you will be getting at least 1 to 2 questions from that, wetlands or mangroves or different kinds of forest. So in 2024 also there was question regarding marine ecosystem, okay, marine forest, okay, like that. You have to be very careful regarding this vegetation, okay. And next one here is you have to know about the restoration potential. So about 2/3 of this Banni grassland can be easily restored, okay, so that we can ensure proper ecological recovery in this region if you are going for proper restoration of these grasslands. And this one is we need to focus on water resources. So water is very, very important, right? So if there is no water, there is no existence of life, and there will be no sustenance of life. Okay, so because of lack of water itself, so this carnivores, they will be coming outside in search of water, and they will be attacking this cattle where the water is present, right? So you have to focus on water proper management. And this one is, even you have to understand the characteristics of soils, which are the nutrients you are having, and which plants can be grown in that. Okay, which kind of grass can be grown in that, if without proper human interventions. So that can be done, so that we can go for restoration of these grasslands. And even whatever the legal frameworks are there, we have to focus on those things. Proper implementation and proper conservation of these grasslands is very important. Okay, so those are the things which are given here, and you have to see some facts regarding this Banni grasslands. So it is located in Kutch district in Gujarat, and it is one of the largest grasslands in Indian subcontinent. So it is area, it is having more than 2,500 square kilometers, even it is about the present thing. So after the decreasing of size also, it is more than 2,500 square kilometers now. And actually, the important problems in this Banni grasslands are, we are coming up with development of dams on the rivers, and next one is even introduction and spread of invasive species of tree, that is called as Podsopis juliflora. So this tree which became an invasive, that means it is not present in that area, but somewhere, so without intention or with intention, so we came up with this planting of this tree, and now it had been spread a lot. So because of this, what happens? So the natural gas that will be available will be decreased. So there will be no fodder for the animals. Again, it will cause harm to the local biodiversity. So this is the one important invasive species that is spreading in this Banni grassland. And actually Banni, it is home to 22 ethnic groups, that means tribal groups who are present in these grasslands, and majority of them are pastoralist. So what is the meaning of pastoralist? Pastoralist. Past means history that happened in long ago. Oral means oralist. Oral root. IM, IV. What is IV? Intravenous. IM, intramuscular. Directly they will give injection to muscle. Subcutaneous, no idea. Have you ever had taken any injections? Okay, have you seen that glucose bottle? One pipe will be there. So that will be given to hand only, where for your veins. That is called as IV. Some injections they will be keeping like this, and they will be piercing injection, that is intramuscular. Some will be like they will be pulling your skin, and below skin they will be injecting the medicine, that is called as subcutaneous. So oral means, for example, tablets or syrups you will be taking orally. So pastoral is nothing but those people, they will be dependent only on animals, animal rearing. Okay, so based on the products they are getting on this animal rearing, they will be working, or sometimes they will be focusing on hunting and gathering. Okay, so these groups are called as pastoralist. Okay, so it is mainly home for different great biological diversity. So around 37 grass species are present in these grasslands, and 275 bird species that you can identify. And especially people who are living in these regions, so they will be domesticating animals like buffaloes, sheep, goat, horses, camel, etc. Okay, clear? And say this article. So yak, have you seen this yak anywhere? Yes? Okay. Yak from China stray into eastern Ladakh. So what this article is saying about? Only migration of animals? Only migration of animals, online students. Please give me your comments. Only? Is it about animal migration? So Ladakh, what is happening in Ladakh? Yeah, infiltration of? So where they are coming from? Which country? Okay, China. So let me draw the map. So here we have LOC. So this part is Ladakh, right? Now tell me what is the issue. So animals are coming from China to Ladakh. So what are the issues involved here? Environment and ecology. Next. We are having border challenges with China, right? So whenever you are writing an answer regarding border challenges, you have to add this article also, like, yes, even border challenges is also impacting biodiversity. For example, yaks are migrating from China to eastern Ladakh. Clear? Okay. So let us see this article. So nearly 40 yaks from China have strayed. Strayed means they came from other countries to India in these regions of Demchok, Ladakh. And now villagers, they are currently caring for these animals, and actually these people, they are trying to send them back to their area. Okay, so now let us see the details. It is saying that transboundary animal movement. So whenever movement is happening between two countries, we will be using this word called as transboundary. You have to remember that. And even in your economic geography, you will be coming across this word called as transhumans. Have you heard this? Transhumans. That means especially in this Ladakh, so people, they will be depending upon rearing of animals. So normally in this Ladakh, we will be having snow, ice, very low temperature, right? So normally what happens in summer season, so the ice will be getting somewhat melted and there will be the green, okay, something that will be coming. So at that time here, this tribal people, they will be taking their animals to the grazing, and sometimes they will be crossing the boundary. Okay, and these people only, they will give information to our army members regarding Chinese soldiers entering into Indian territory, like that. So these people, they play a very important role that you will come to know in your international relations. Okay, so here transbound animal movement, we can understand this. Yaks, they underscores the complexity of border management where livestock inadvertently cross the line of actual control. So humans, they know that this is boundary we should not cross. If you are crossing, this Chinese people, they will be catched and they will be kept in the jail. But these animals, they don't know about the lines, right? So they are moving between the boundary and they cross this LOC and LAC, and they came up with this. Actually, it is LAC, line of actual control. Here we have LOC. Okay. So here what happened here is, now the border movement of animals is happening. So it became a very great challenge for both the countries to control this. And next one here is, we have to take the role of local governance as well, because now villagers, they are managing this yaks, and it indicates that yes, there is a need of local governance. Okay, so this local people, they can understand more. The people who are involved in the rearing of animals, they can understand the pain of animals, but not you and me. Okay, so here we need proper solutions for this transboundary issues regarding animals. And if you see the historical context, so many a times the nomads of this Demchok region, they lost their animals, but they didn't get the proper solution from this Chinese government. But India is not doing like that. So Indian villages, they are taking care of that, and Indian villages, they are trying to send them back to their country. And even always there will be issue between this China and India regarding grazing rights. Okay, so as I said, sometimes if there is summer season, so there will be grass which is growing. So because of that, this people of this nomads, they will be going to the upper regions for the grazing. Sometimes they will be crossing the LAC, but actually what happened, so these people, they are fighting that this earlier we used to take our animals for this region to graze our animals, but now because of this occupation, so this because of this area which is occupied by China, so we are losing our grazing rights. So this is a issue. Because of this, who are vulnerable here? Nomadic people, they are vulnerable. So whenever you are writing about this border issues, you have to include the transboundary animal movement and as well as transhumans. And next one here is vulnerability of this nomadic tribes because of this grazing things. And this one is, you have to see what is economic implication. So whenever there is loss of traditional grazing area, so these people, they cannot graze their animals. So because of this, the economic instability will be seen in this border residents as well. So we need proper governmental interventions to control this. Okay, so we need proper cooperation between these diplomatic things regarding animal strays, grazing rights, so that we can manage proper cross-border relations between India and China. Clear? Okay, so see this article, Clean Ganga Mission Ahead flags slow pace of projects. So here it is about Clean Ganga Mission. So number of times we discussed this. So just revise this topic. And next topic is risk of large outbreak of mpox low in India for now, says official. So here in Pakistan, more than 3 cases they were recorded. So here there is a tension that it can be also spread to India. So this article is saying that even though we are having a very less chances of getting this mpox, but we don't know what happens in the near future. So you have to revise about this mpox. And next, see this article, Chinese Philippine ship collide with South China Sea. So actually I said that China, wherever it have the chance, like either on land or either on water, so they will be having disputes with different countries. So one such a conflict region is South China Sea. So in the South China Sea, we have 3 islands, Parsley Islands, Spratly Islands and Scarborough. So these 3 islands. So China is claiming these 3 islands as mine. But according to UNCLOS, so whenever the country is having the region or resources within 200 nautical miles, that comes under the jurisdiction of that so and so country. So because of this, between Philippines and China, between China and Japan, so different countries where they are having boundary with this South China Sea, they are having conflicts with this China. Okay, so that is the thing which mainly said here. So that thing will be dealt clearly by your international relations, sir. Okay, so these are the important articles that appeared in our today's Hindu newspaper. So I hope you understood something, at least 10 to 20% of my class. If you didn't understand my class, please do like the class and share this class to your friends. And do subscribe to Rathods IAS Academy.